All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm Willa, and this is Willa Trades. If you're at this channel, you're at this channel because you're interested in day trading and kind of understanding the journey. A lot of people get involved in trading and find it to be frustrating, difficult, and usually they quit before they actually see any real progress. It takes a lot longer than you think. I've been trading for about 2 years. The first half a year I was attempting to do swing trading, but I really wanted to do intraday trading. And I went on that journey. One of the things that I found to be the best thing that you can do is every day set a watch list. Even if you aren't trading and you are just simply day trading, you want to go ahead and set a watch list so you can kind of watch what your ideas are and how they play. The watch list helps you with your understanding of the market. It may or may not always play out exactly like you thought it would, but from there, because you had a set idea, you kind of start to recognize where the market did something different, and you begin to look for the reason why. And looking for that reason why can have all the effect in the world at improving the quality of your trading and your profitability. I find myself getting more and more profitable. Also, at the same time, I'm trading less. So, not taking as many trades because you're looking for specific setups or specific ideas that you have. And if that idea doesn't hit that day, you might not take it. So, there's a lot that happens in the journey of trading. And one of the things that most traders will tell you is the psychological piece is probably the largest. You can learn pattern recognition, you can learn charts. However, you actually have to learn what's going on within you to allow you to be able to overcome any limiting beliefs, any limiting thoughts that you have, to be able to transcend where you were before when you were first learning how to trade, because you go through this process of you might get lucky early and then you lose it all, and then from that point you begin to question trades, you question yourself, and that's usually why a lot of people quit. They think, oh, I'm not good at this. They make those proclamations and they simply quit. But to persevere through, to not assume that kind of attitude, and to assume that you're just in the process of learning, and that when the learning meets the action, you will be there. And that is really all it is. And I think for me, I've gotten that from being an entrepreneur just in other areas, and realizing that the journey requires you to get the reps. It requires you to get understanding along the way. And as you do, you have success. Okay, that's my message for the day. Let's jump into this watch list. Today is actually CPI day for October. We're October 10th. It's a Thursday. Big day. The market had been in a consolidation pathway because, if you can see, this is really just about 60 points. So for a whole week of trading, not a uh, big range. And it may look bigger, but if I were to do it like this, you would see that it just kind of shrinks. All right. So for a full week, that would be considered a very tight range. Less than 100 points is what you're looking at. If the low is 57.25 and the high is 58.46, I guess just a little bit over 100 points. You really want to see like 200 to 300 points in a move for a week. Now let's go ahead and zoom in. These are the previous days. We've got some level set, and this chart that we're looking at, I'm sorry about that, let me go and pull that, is ES. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and enlarge this so it looks bigger. So yesterday we had a big run up. I actually was not able to trade that. I don't have, or I'm building a skill set. Let's just say that I'm building a skill set to trade these days where there's a big run up. And you can see that yesterday came in really early. There was a bounce off of the VWAP, volume weighted price average, or volume weighted average price, I should say. There was a bounce off the VWAP, and then there was just a straight run up to almost the top of the chart. So if you didn't catch this bounce, if you didn't already have that idea, it became difficult. And it was very wicky all the way up. See, we're on the 5-minute chart. And then at some point there was a pull down. I almost caught this on futures, but didn't catch it because I was a little bit hesitant just because of what the range had been. See, and that's one of the things that can happen. The chart could psychologically make you a little bit more hesitant because of the range. You can see here, this is extremely tight range overnight. But anyway, so the market ran up over CPI, which was my original expectation. I just didn't have a edge to be able to get into it. So then we came into the market, and I expected some kind of sell-off today, and you can see we had CPI. This candle right here is when the data was released. There was a push up and then a sell-off after the push up. The push up didn't make it to the high of day yesterday, which is actually pretty interesting because I would have expected it to eclipse it. But that means that there is some kind of seller volume here that we're going to be watching for today. If you don't know this by now, I actually trade SPX and I use SPY and ES and QQQ to make those trades. Okay, let's look at this chart for this week, specifically from Friday. This is a 5-minute chart. The previous all-time high actually was down here at 565, or excuse me, 56658. We eclipsed that and we turned around and used that. We used that as a bounce point. All right. So we bounced the all-time high. We turned that resistance into support. We moved up on Monday. We moved up again on Tuesday with a little bit of bounce in between. Looks like around this midday, 1 o'clock area. You see both days. So we're going to be watching the 1 o'clock time frame really carefully, and also our secondary time frame we're going to be watching is 2:30. Because although we're on an hourly time frame right now, if we were to break this down to the 30-minute, you could see that, let's go in here, go for Monday. If we break it down from that hourly time frame, you can see that right around this 2:30, there's kind of like a move up, a dramatic move up. You look at it again here, around 2:30, there was a push down, and then there was a dramatic move up. This actually started right at that 3 o'clock period. So we're going to be looking around that time frame really carefully. So 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock are going to be my time frames today. I'm going to really be watching this carefully, and of course, we've got to watch the opening time frame. Time frames matter. I found that out probably within my first couple months of trading. Time frames really signal whether or not there's a reversal if you're watching volume very carefully and you're paying attention to how the market is perceiving information. So CPI came in hot. CPI is a measure of inflation, for those of you who don't know. And hot means that it came in higher than expected. So that being the case, there's going to be concerns and worries about whether or not the Federal Reserve is going to continue their rate lowering plan that they said at their last meeting. I think they went too much at the 50%, and the data is going to have to play out where it validates what they've done by inflation lowering. So if you look at this 30-minute, and let's go back to that 5 because it gives us more detail. So if we look at this 5-minute, we can see here that we're already bouncing all-time high here. And we're showing a bounce. So what we're going to do is there's a big gap that's been created right here at 576.48. And we're going to watch to see whether or not we come and we try to fill this gap, or if we even come all the way up and try to get these orders. We're going to look for an initial reject, a reject off the pre-market high. And so we're going to look for it to push up, come back and reject, and then sell off. And then probably we're going to look for a bounce at this 576. And again, if we see it falling out, we're going to look for a bounce way down here, retesting this 573, which was yesterday's low area. Okay, so that's going to be our main strategy for today. Let's look at QQQ and just see how QQQ looks. Now, QQQ is a very important ETF because it measures the NASDAQ. All right. We've not hit all-time highs on the NASDAQ because there was a sell-off, and this has really prompted the sell-off on the S&P as well. But you can see, this is the daily chart. You can see where we were at an all-time high probably in July. We sold off through July, bounced, had a mini sale, and we kind of started a wave pattern. So at this point, what we're looking at right now is we're looking at this to actually continue up at some point and come back and get this all-time high. And my expectation for that is it's probably going to take us through next week. I would be surprised if we covered it today, but it's very possible. It's very possible. But I think we're going to go back and pick up some orders first. So my strategy is going to be to watch for us to go down and pick up some more orders now that the CPI data is in. Let's go back to that five minute, and we're probably coming back down somewhere in this 487 area. You can see where this was previously resistance, and we saw where it turned into support yesterday, and we're going to look for it to do that again, if not blow right through it and come down to this 486 area. Okay, if we see the move up, we're going to be again watching a reject off pre-market high, just like on SPY. We're going to use it, and we're going to take that trade on SPX. So those of you who are watching, the pre-market high that I'm going to be looking at is 493.5. If we get in this 493.15 area and we show some hesitancy, I'm going to really be watching it carefully. If it shows with strength, I got to see it confirm, meaning I need to see the right kind of candles appear and the volume appear that signals a reversal. And if that happens, then we're going to look for that reject. We're going to take it all the way down, try to get to pre-market high, pre-market low, or go a little bit lower and turn yesterday's support into, yesterday's resistance or support. We're going to try to hit that, and boom, we're going to get into that. And that's all the way down at 487, 488 area, 488 basically. So for those of you watching, hopefully you were able to see kind of what we're trying to do here. And if you have questions, please drop a comment. Love to answer some questions for you. If you're interested in day trading, I can talk to you about my journey in it and show you what it takes to get on, the right mental attitude and become profitable. Definitely hit like and subscribe. The likes and subscribes will help us one day trade live. We hope to do that for you. I hope to do that for you. I say we because I'm usually a part of a team in some sense of fashion, but I hope to do that for you so you can see the process. And I'm not somebody making big wild claims about economics. It's real day trading. It's really going to be what you see.